Mate, you know, we haven't done a podcast for a month, and already, like, just walking on, I feel out of breath. Bro, I feel out of breath.
This is great, man. Good to see you, Jimmy.
Good to see you,
It's
mate.
been a while, man. You've always had amazing energy every time I came up in here. Hilarious.
Dude, I do try, man. I do try. Yeah, it's been ages since I've seen you, man.
When was the last time?
I mean, probably when we did an event.
Right.
Remember
when
them?
Was that? That was last year. That was late last year. I love Secret Walls. Shout out Terry. What up, Terry?
Did you just hang out with him just then?
I did. I pulled up on him. I was hanging out with him for like an hour, just chopping it up about life. Terry's a very special person to me. He allowed me to DJ his wedding, which was pretty awesome. It was like a wedding of like 20, less than 30 people, in this huge like mansion house off the side of a hill with the ocean as like the backyard. And it was just such an honor and blessing to be able to DJ that. Yeah,
bro, I saw that, man. I saw the pics as the mist was rolling in.
Yeah. It was an interesting space.
Pretty epic, right?
Yeah, it was amazing, and it was like, man, it took us forever to get there, but we got there. It was my first like major road trip, but it was amazing. Lorena, amazing people. I got to meet Terry's dad, his brothers, all his nephews.
All the clan.
It was amazing. The whole squad is amazing. His uncle is like an amazing barber. I'm a barber as well, so I got to connect with him. And
bro, you do it all, man.
Yeah, I try.
You do it all. Do you know what's funny about that? The venue they chose, wasn't it? Like, as you say, it was a serious road trip from here.
Man,
like, it was far from here. But even if you flew in,
right, you still had to drive a couple hours.
The nearest airport was like four hours.
Yeah, it was in the middle of nowhere. It was in the middle of nowhere, and the yard was so big. There was like, man, it was just amazing, man. I'll never, ever forget that experience. And I'm forever grateful for that experience. So, yeah.
Big up, Terry, mate. We're going to... Emmett, we got to have Terry on, haven't we? We've got to have the boss, man.
Oh, you haven't had Terry on here?
Nah.
Oh, we got to have one. I'll come back and do that one with Terry. We need to sit Terry right
It would have been
right
good with both of you, actually. Do you know what? Like, because of the time, COVID, and the kind of obvious stresses and strains that it has on a brand like ours, because we essentially, like, we're doing well now. Like, we've kind of reacted really positively and well. But for such a long time, man, like, we're an events brand,
right?
You know, so it's like,
you get paid off of other people's money. You know, getting brands involved to come in and do things. And what I loved about what you guys do is you guys get money from these brands and bring in these artists and pay out all these artists. I love it. It kind of reminds me of what Soulection does. You know what I mean? We know how to talk to the white man that cuts the check.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get them to cut the check and we disperse
that Robin Hood
throughout everybody.
Business model, bro.
Right. So it's like, yeah, man. I shout out Secret Walls. I'm forever grateful to Secret Walls.
Yeah, mate. Well, look, I want to talk about the similarities between the two brands, but before we do that, before I forget, because to be honest, bro, if I could, I would just make this podcast like a spiritual podcast.
Right.
We touch on it with a few guests. Our last one with Nitro's, the artist Nitro's, like, we went deep into kind of, really out there place, because he was essentially talking about like DMT trips and ayahuasca and stuff like that. Okay. But when you walked in, you were like, the first thing you said is like, this space. And you're like, do you know what? We need to do some group meditations in here.
Yeah.
And some sound baths in here.
Yeah, man.
So I don't think I've ever talked to you about meditation or sound baths. So now is the time.
Yeah, this is the first real conversation. Everything's always been in work, in passing.
There you go,
But
mate.
It's always been good vibes.
It's always been with...
That's why it's good to see you. I'm like, Jimmy,
yeah. It's rare to see you without a backdrop of about 500 people.
Right.
Loud music and some drinks in our hands.
Yeah, so this is meant to happen, for sure. Yeah. This is meant to happen. But yeah, this space would be beautiful to do some sound baths in here.
Talk me through sound baths, because again, I like to think of myself as like, I love reading about religion, spirituality, philosophies, anything and everything. But I always kind of stay on the peripheral, because I'm just trying to absorb like a lot of stuff.
Right.
Talk me through.
So you need to absorb a sound bath.
There you go.
Because we are water, right? We are water. We absorb everything. We don't have a choice but to absorb everything. We feel everything, hear everything, see everything. And what a sound bath allows me to do, and sound bath's different for everybody. There could be 20 people at the sound bath and they could do 20 different things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, I use a sound bath to put me in a deep meditative state and allow me to just detox It's a good way for me to just kind of reset, let go of anything. You know, it reminds you to breathe properly. Man, I can go on forever, but
I want you to, bro. Well, look, talk me through it. If we were gonna have like a sound bath group meditation in here, we could do it in here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like what's happening? What's the sound element?
Let's see. So my friend Talia, shout out to Talia.
Was she the one on top of that?
She's the one that has
mountaintop.
She's the
on
one
your
that,
Instagram.
Yes. So she's the one that has like taught me to get good at meditating. So now I can go off and learn. I can go off the practices that she's taught me and go and do them myself and go somewhere and all right, let me go through the steps that she's walked me through to be able to do it on my own. But let's say Talia were to walk in here, 15, 20 people in here. Everyone would bring a mat, blanket, pillow. The pillow will be to put underneath your legs so your spine is completely flat with the ground. Because if you put your legs flat, the only hump that you have back there is your butt, right? So therefore your back is uneven. But anyways, put the pillow here, have a blanket just in case it gets cold. And she'll go for like 30 to 45 minutes and walk you through a meditation. Her voice is so crazy. It's like a perfect meditation voice, right? So she'll just remind you of the things to be thankful for. She'll really connect with you, let you know, hey, like we're all going, this is emotional warfare going on right now, but during this very moment in time now, let's take a deep breath, and when we exhale, we let go of all these things that have been stressing us, right? And then she'll guide you a little deeper into the meditation, where at this point you already have your breathing under control. She teaches you how to breathe. Right? When you're stressed out, you're short of breath. You start getting headaches, and it just correlates to so many other things. So she coaches you on how to breathe properly, so you're getting proper oxygen throughout your brain and the whole body, right? And then guides you into a deep meditative state of like, you're so deep in it, you don't even feel yourself in your body anymore. As a matter of fact, sometimes you fall asleep, but you're still awake. You can still hear everything, but your body is completely asleep, right? So she gets you to that point. She'll teach you how to relax your face, the muscles in your face, your cheeks, your shoulders, your hips, everything. And as she's saying it, you're literally letting go of all these things that she's saying. So by the time she's done doing that, you even hear people snoring, but they're still awake. Like you legit hear people snoring.
And you've essentially like melted into the floor.
You melted into the floor, into the earth. You become grounded at that point. Yeah. Right? You are with the earth. And then here come the sound bowls and all these different sounds and frequencies. And like me personally, I love sound. That's why I love music. I just love sound, period. And when she comes in with the sound bowls, I feel like for me, the different tones and frequencies of these sound bowls and different sounds that she does allows me to push out a lot of negative energy, or maybe it's been something that I was going through that day, or something that I've been going through that whole week. Or right now I'm affected, and a lot of people are affected by the current climate of the world with, the injustice of, man, I can go on forever. I get a little emotional because every day I wake up kind of frustrated because of what is going on with the world, because it affects me, directly. And through Talia's practices, I'm able to get into these meditations and allow me to reset, so I know how to approach these situations going forward and be able to be a positive force during all this negative and dark shit. So that is why I do sound baths, and that is why I feel sound baths are important. Yeah, meditation is important.
Really
it's
important.
It has become another one of my detoxes. Yeah, because there's 3 ways the body naturally detoxes: you pee, poop, sweat. Right, that's the body's natural detoxing. But you also got to detox the mind. You also got to clean your mind out. You know what I mean? And that's why I love meditation, or anything that's got to do with meditation. And I encourage people to do so. Yeah, definitely. That's a really interesting way to put it, man, because it is so true. And you can feel that, like pee, poop, sweat. Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, that's definitely how you're detoxing. But it's true. It's like the build up of like a mental plaque. Just from life, or even, as you say, like stuff that's happening in the world, like injustices and police brutality and stuff that you're absorbing, but also
when you're just like on Instagram too much.
Right.
You know, that's one thing that I feel like all the time, man. Like I haven't drunk alcohol for like 8 months.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's good. I feel great,
That's
man.
amazing,
I feel
bro.
great, but I can definitely see whatever that, and you know, little kind of sidebar, I'm really interested in this, what I'm about to say. I can feel that whatever it was or I have in me that kind of led me to that point where I'm, you know, drinking in a way that is not conducive to like a healthy,
taking you to a dark space.
Taking me to a dark space.
Unhealthy.
I can see that when I, you know, it's awesome. I've kind of eliminated that negative from my life, but I can see how that drive will creep into other things.
Right.
You know, it could
of course.
Yeah, it could creep into to like relationships, or it could creep into like drinking shitloads of fizzy drinks, or like eating, you know, like junk food.
Yeah, because we're consumers, man. We're
consumers.
The consumption is at an all-time high right now. We use that as a coping mechanism too. Let me scroll and consume some shit to forget about the realities of life. But yeah, man.
But that is one that at the minute I'm really kind of like, it's at the forefront of my mind. And what's interesting about what you're saying about detoxing, when I, you know, if I'm there at like 11 p.m. and I'm like, fucking hell, I've been just staring into my phone for a couple of hours now. It feels like a weight, like a pressure, you know, that needs to be detoxed, that needs to be.
Yeah, it's like, where do you dump it off, right?
Yeah.
Where do you dump it off? So I would recommend trying some sound baths. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a couple of links so you can do it yourself. And maybe next time you come back on, and whoever it is going forward that you have on this podcast, you can also encourage.
Yeah, no, 100%, man.
And look, keep passing it on, because this is extremely important.
Well, I've never done a sound bath, but you know, I've experimented with like a few different meditations, and when you were talking there, like plenty of stuff that you were saying kind of resonated with me. For instance, when, you know, I've done a few guided meditations, not in the same room as the guide, but or the person who's guiding, but just off like Spotify. Steve Wolf is a good one. Okay. Just a guy, as you're saying about your mate Talia, is that her name? This guy Steve Wolf, I know nothing about him, but he's got a great voice. Yeah. And it's all about...
the voice does it sometimes.
You need that voice, is that natural talent. But in the same way that you were describing Talia, like, he does that thing where he's like, all right, you know, lie down, and you're like thinking, yeah, I am lying down. Okay, relax. You're thinking, yeah, I am relaxed. Yeah. But then he's like, he'll go through like muscle groups.
Relax your ears, and you're like, damn, my ears.
Yeah. You're literally like, I did not know that my ears were not relaxed.
Right.
Or my cheeks.
We hold so much tension in our face.
So much tension, bro. Yeah. But then also, what you're saying about the one thing I haven't done is a sound bath, so having the added element of sound. But I was reading one book, I think it's like an Eckhart Tolle or whatever the guy's name is, book, Power of Now, all about kind of like living in the moment. But he's got one section in one of his books that's about how sound can, you know, draw you into presence, you know, so especially with like a gong or a bowl, when you can kind of create a sound with that nice smooth frequency that then like dissipates gradually. Right. If you focus on that sound and listen for the end of it, because the end is so drawn out, it kind of
thins out,
so gradual. It's not like a clap.
Yeah, so no, you know.
Yeah, you're there like ears pricked up.
It takes you for a ride.
Yeah, man. And then you know when you get to the end of it, like, oh shit, like I'm just here now. Yeah. But I also think it's really important what you're saying, man, about you know, so now is 100% a time where there's so much like insane activity going on to get people riled up, upset, sad, depressed, angry.
There's emotional and psychological warfare going on right now.
So, and you know, mate, like just last thing I'll say on that before I throw it over to you is, you know, all reactions that I'm kind of seeing, like whether it's by individuals or groups, are valid in this kind of situation. Yeah. You know, no matter how angry or kind of like chaotic they seem to be, it's like, I get it. But I do agree at the same time that if you can do something like meditation, just to free yourself, even if it's for half an hour or however long, to just free yourself like from carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
It's very,
you know, then I think that is so powerful, because cool, if you're just going to do that for half an hour and then you're going right back to it,
and it sharpens you up. It sharpens you up and allows you to pass that energy on to your neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, the way I see it is, I feel like this is how I feel personally. Hate is driving out love, right? Like hate is winning right now.
Yeah.
And we need to, we need to sharpen up our love. We need to sharpen up our love all across the board. And whatever it is that we got to do that, we need to do that. Because we gotta fight this battle. It's an endless battle. It's a very heartfelt space, and we gotta sharpen each other up. Iron sharpens iron, you know what I mean? And we gotta sharpen each other up to go out into these dark spaces and swing our love sword. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about the world right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's why I do these practices to like allow me to react in a positive way. You know what I mean? So that's why I meditate.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant, man. And even, just not to kind of spiral into it, because it must be so easy to spiral into a dark place in these kinds of times. But how is your mind state now? Because obviously like 2020 is a bit of a nuts year, and everyone's kind of, it's almost become a bit of a parody this year, hasn't it? Like, 2020. Right. But you know, fucked up stuff. Right. It's kind of happened since maybe the dawn of time. So is it that 2020 is such a nuts year, or are people just sort of starting to like wake up a bit?
All right. So to answer your question, how am I doing? How's my head during, what is happening? How's my head? Let's see. I feel like I am gifted and highly favored. I feel like I'm chosen. I feel like I've been chosen. I feel like my purpose is to be a positive force in everything that is happening. That is how I feel. So I work towards that. Whatever I got to do to be that positive force, I work towards that. And it doesn't mean that I don't go through shit. I go through a lot of shit emotionally, whether it's family stuff. We all do. You know what I mean? I just really work, and I really work on being able to take care of those things on my own, to not pass it on to anybody else or not unload it on somebody else, because I know what my purpose is. So it's like I need to take care of this. I need to figure everything out. I need to work harder than my situation. That's what one of my brothers, Joe, always says: work harder than your situation. No matter what is happening, you need to work harder than your situation. So I do just that. I work harder than my situation, so I don't allow other people to feel any of my problems. I take care of those things on my own, and I come back out into the world and just try to be a positive force. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man. And that's great advice from your mate, from your brother, Joe. Yeah. And so, apart from it, like, how long have you been meditating, and what else do you do? When you've got this kind of like the stresses and weights of the world, and as you say, and I really admire that about you, mate, that it's like, you're not saying you deny those feelings at all, but you're saying that you process them yourself in order not to like take your shit out on other people.
Yeah, you learn to develop emotional intelligence. Yeah. How long have I been meditating? Man, a couple years now. And it's not like I sit in an Indian style and meditate everywhere. It's like a simple meditation can be just stopping what you're doing and taking a couple deep breaths. Yeah. Like, just stop and fill up your lungs with air. 'Cause sometimes when you're anxious, naturally you're short of breath. Your heart's beating a little differently. Your lungs ain't getting full a bunch of oxygen because you're stressed out, or whatever the case may be. You're moving fast, anxiety, whatever the case may be. So sometimes I just stop and breathe. Like, all right, just stop. You are blessed. Even the small things, I count my blessings. I got a roof over my head. My stomach's full. I have an amazing job. I've been working with Soulection for going on 10 years now. I count my blessings. So that's a part of my meditation. Just counting my blessings sometimes, you know what I mean? Whether it's first thing in the morning or at the end of the night when I'm like, wow, no matter whatever is going on out there, I'm still alive, and I'm chosen to be alive. Yeah. So with that being said, I got to go out and do something about that,
Mate, I love that. Because I think maybe what a lot of people's issue with like meditation and spirituality, and even that word for a lot of people will conjure up kind of like something that they don't want to hear about spirituality.
Or they may think it's like God.
Yeah, exactly. But what you're talking about there, man, I really love, because I've kind of subscribed to that thought or feeling for a while that, you know, meditation and spirituality doesn't have to mean like mountaintops and, you know, sunsets and white robes and it can be all that stuff, waterfalls and, you know, perfection and like nature and beauty. It can be all those things, and that's great. But I think it can be like, we live in Los Angeles, man, and all right, there's great like hiking trails and stuff, but Los Angeles is you know, a lot of the time like a dirty, smoky city. Right. So I'm really interested in just finding those moments of magic within life, not trying to deny the human experience and deny like, you know, like our flaws or even things that aren't our flaws, but like the fact that we cover, you know, nature with shitloads of buildings and stuff,
apartments and
but I love that, man. It's like wash the dishes, you can focus on your breath.
Man, definitely that's another one. Water your grass, people. If you have a yard, take some time to go out there and water your grass. Like, that's a good one. That's a good one for me. Like, it's different for everybody. I pray too, you know what I mean? That's part of my meditation. I pray, I give thanks. So I encourage everyone to take some time out of your day and count your blessings and just be thankful for what you got and thankful for being alive.
Yeah, mate. Nice.
It's important.
It is important. And do you know what? Like, I speak to a lot of people that kind of like appear to have a little bit of balance, you know, in their life. And the similarities are there, bro. You know, and it doesn't mean that they're like, these people aren't extreme, like, you know, as I said, like walking around with robes on.
Right.
Like,
and you don't need to be extreme.
Don't need to be. I'm ultra spiritual, but I do think it's like, for me, I find it really interesting when I talk to people who have no kind of concept or no understanding or no acknowledgement that there is anything else to life other than modern life, building,
what society has,
you
know, what society has created of making everybody think that you gotta stay hustling, you gotta stay working, you gotta stay grinding. It's like, I was talking to my friend Debbie a couple weeks ago, and she's like, we have to normalize vacating. We have to normalize taking 2-3 days out of the week and say, you know what, I'm just gonna be off the map.
Fuck this shit, I'm out
for 2-3 days and go reset, because that's what's gonna allow you to come back into the world as a positive force and be able to inspire somebody. Yeah. So, you know.
No, I'm with that completely, man. And I think, you know, when you can see that, like, for me, when I'm kind of looking at like arguments that are going on, whether it's me or whether it's, you know, like two other people or groups of people, or even like political global arguments, it's like, wow, this is an example of people who have no vacating skills whatsoever. They're lost in the game. They have no ability to zoom out and sort of be like, look, yeah, all right, this stuff's important. It is life or death. Like, politics is life or death. Like, you know, life can be brutal and cruel. But I think when you're meditating or when you're, you know, do the sound bath, anything like that, you're zooming out and feeling, you know, and again, you're not saying like, you're not sticking your fingers in your ears and go, la, 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 everything's fine, there are no problems.
No, you're allowing yourself to step back and reflect and really
connect with something deeper.
Really feel, what am I feeling? Like, ask yourself, what am I feeling? You know? I agree with that 100%. People get lost in the sauce, man. Don't get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in the sauce.
Bro, I'm loving as well, like your little summaries at the end there when we're talking to the people. Don't get lost in the sauce. Emmett, we'll have to edit together all the little tips at the end. But bro, all right, this is awesome, man. And we've never...
This is a good conversation.
It's a great conversation.
You know what? I'm going to keep it real with you. I forgot. It was like 12 o'clock and I'm like, oh shit. But I love it because that just puts I love pressure. So it's like it puts a little pressure on me. It gives me a little anxiety and like a little pressure. But I come in here and beat that.
There you go, man.
Like, let me get in there. Let me just throw myself in there. I don't know what's going on. We didn't talk what we're going to talk about. It's just like, just sit down and talk. And
dude, to be fair, it's exactly the same for me as well. Every episode, I know I'm not going to fuck it up. You know,
but I'm glad it's you. Yeah. When I came in, I'm like, oh shit, Jimmy, this is the perfect person. You know what I mean? I've kind of watched you move up in the secret wall space too, to eventually ending up on stage and on the mic and kind of helping facilitate things. That's important, knowing how to facilitate a room of hundreds of people. So it's cool to see you grow to that space.
Dude, that's great.
And here we are now.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, man. And I think, you know, that's a cool thing that everyone on the team has been fully on board with the podcast. Yeah. that's what I wanted it to be. It's a play, like, to facilitate a conversation, you know, kind of a two-way thing, rather than just like bombard you with questions and you know, the kind of run-of-the-mill stuff. And we might touch upon that naturally, but essentially it's boring, man. And that's what I've realized about myself. It's like, if I'm talking to someone who's just super successful in their field, I don't necessarily, if all we're doing is kind of running down the list of achievements, I get it, that's impressive, and I've got respect for anyone who achieves anything, whether it's like a sporting thing, a business thing, but I'm not necessarily as interested as if I'm talking to that same person just about a conversation, whatever it is that's got hold of us. You know, and it can be about anything. Right. But it's not like you're not forcing someone to, okay, so tell me about the best thing you've done.
This has been flowing. This is great. Okay, well look, let's keep the flow, man.
Yeah. So I think one of the last times that you came in, and this probably leads us in nicely from what we have been talking about with like meditation and, you know, clearly kind of like 2020 is a year that is getting on top for a lot of people. So we talked about how it's important to take a step back, but you definitely are that guy who is like, you know, you let yourself get affected by what's happening and you want to kind of be there for your people, like your community, those around you. And I think the last time you were in here, dude, we were donating some stock, some clothing. Right?
Oh yeah. Which one was that one for?
Because you've got like the sneaker.
So my buddy Ricky over at Azusa, Ricky and Dash,
Haversol,
the homies. Yeah. They got something amazing going, and they've had it going for a couple years, and I've been rocking with them for a couple years. So any little chance I get to be able to pay forward to them, I always do. And what they do, you guys should look them up, Haversol, Havasole, Haversol on Instagram.
And what's the deal there? Essentially, they get donated sneakers. And what do they do with them? They just find them a new home.
They find them a new home, happy. And some of them sneakers are there's a story with every single sneaker. There's a story with every single sneaker. And what I love about them is that they got it down to the point now to where they're able to get companies and different basketball teams. Like, they've done a really good job at solidifying themselves in that space. With these like bigger brands and companies like Nike and so on and so forth that just give them brand new shoes, like hundreds of shoes, and that allows them to go out there and do their thing and tap into different shelters, whether it's a homeless shelter. They occupy so many different spaces and put shoes on people. They've even done tours throughout North America where they just load up the car and tap in with a bunch of different organizations in different cities and just drop off shoes to different people. And I've been blessed to be able to join them, not on a mission like that, but here in LA multiple times, and be able to put shoes on kids. And man, the stories that you just learn it's such a heartfelt space, man. Like, I taught a 7th grade kid how to tie his shoe, you know, and I ended up asking him, and I come to find out, I believe he was like an orphan.
Yeah. How old? 7th grade?
7th grade. That is probably like 12, 13 years old. Yeah. Taught him how to tie a shoe. Yeah. Man, just so many different stories.
Yeah,
I've even made friends with some of those little kids. Yeah. And you end up seeing them, you know, a year later, 2 years later, through these like events that they host, because they obviously develop these connections with these kids and stay in touch through social media. And I've been able to see some of these kids down the line, and man, at such a young age, they're inspired to want to do the same thing as they get older. You know what I mean? You ask them like, yo, what do you want to do as you get older? I want to be able to help people. And it's like, that's the kids are the most important thing in this planet. You know what I mean? And that's the future. So shout out to Haversol. Shout out to Tanzi. She's a really good friend of mine that works really closely with Haversol, and she does like a pop-up PE class for these schools that don't have PE because they can't afford it. You know, that's the first thing they do with these budget cuts. They pull out arts, they pull out the sports, they pull out PE. Everybody needs to be physical every single day. I encourage everyone to I encourage everyone to sweat. Don't go more than 3 days without breaking a sweat. You know what I mean?
Mate, I need you around my house when I wake up. Drill sergeant.
Is that your bike?
Come on. Yeah, it's
oh,
my
you're
bike.
on a bike, man. That's
Bro,
good, man.
I
got a
bought
bike.
that bike 3 weeks ago, and first week rode in every day.
You need to, bro. That's important. I got an amazing bike, and me and all my friends just got bike. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go on a bike ride today with some friends. Do a sunset ride.
Where you gonna go?
Trying to go.
Dude, you know what? Here comes.
I got a bike. I got a bike rack. All right, what are the excuses, man? What's good,
the
man?
excuses.
You gotta go home and send a couple invoices or something, huh?
I do need to do that, actually. Plus some other stuff, man. You don't even know. We're working on a ton of projects at the minute. But you riding a bike a lot around?
Oh yeah, I'm cleated in and everything. I got the shoes and everything.
Oh, for fuck's sake! How am I going to keep up with that? I mean,
that's fine. We don't.
You're strapped in.
I'm strapped in.
How many gears you got?
I think mine's like a 14 speed.
Fucking hell. Mine's got one gear, bro.
Oh, you're fixed. It's fine though. My friend that I'm going with today, he's got a fixed gear as well. So it's on flat land. It's all flat land. One of these days, Jimmy, you got to come with us.
Mate, I would. No, definitely. I did. Me and Terry keep talking about going on a bike ride.
No, you need to get Terry out there too. I see he got the Peloton going, but he needs to get out there. He's like, yeah, mate. 2-3 times a week, Peloton, mate. 20 minutes.
It's 2 or 3. He said he told me he does it like one time.
Yeah.
6 miles. But he goes 6 miles a week. I'm like, Terry, 6 miles on a bike a week. That's not a lot, bro.
I just encourage them. I say, hey, bro, you got to start somewhere. So Terry, get on there, brother.
Mate, I am honestly, I'm counting the minutes until they open my gym again, bro. Because we did a job for Equinox, know, the fancy gym. Yeah. And they gave me a pass to go to the gym. So I went from I got this like 6-month pass. And
they closed on
that's you. Now, but do you know what? I hope no one from Equinox is listening to this, but when they closed it, I only had a couple of days left on this free pass.
Yeah.
They closed it for 3 months, and I knew that I only had a couple of days left. But then when they opened 3 months later, they opened for like a week.
Oh, yeah.
So I went in there and I was like, look, I think I've only got like 2 or 3 days left, but I want to use it. They were like, no, you've got 3 months and 2 and 3 days. So the time that they closed, they added back on.
The time. That's amazing.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, it's incorrect. They're
but it's fine.
But it's fine.
We don't tell them.
Dude, we won't tell them. And they've done the same thing again for another 3 months. So I'm hoping I've got an extra 6 months. But my point is, bro, I went from 24-hour fitness to Equinox. I went from working out at like 6 a.m. with a dude next to me, just like flinching, wearing like full jeans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Working out with like broken weights and stuff, like fearing for my life with every rep, to like the lap of luxury. Yeah. So as soon as they closed the doors on that super duper gym, bro, I tried to work out at home. I was like, nah,
it's not hitting the same.
I can't do it, man.
People are different. Some people need the facility. Some people are good at just doing it at home.
Mate, well, you're looking trim, bro.
It's that bike, man. It's that bike. But then again, I've always been into athletic stuff. It's important. It's extremely important. And then I was playing a lot of basketball. Hurt my knee, tore my ACL, removed my meniscus. I got like 2 surgeries. I need
What's
one
the
more.
meniscus?
Meniscus is the cartilage in between the bones. So I tore all that. So they had to pull that out. And that serves as like your shock absorbent. So when you jump and land, that cartilage absorbs, all the shock. And I don't have that.
Man, that sucks. So
and I have knee problems. So I've gone to a bicycle. Because after that, or before that actually, I got into running. And I was in the middle of like running basketball, but I was running a lot more. And then running was taking a toll on my body as well. Yeah. You run more than 3 to 5 miles and you're sore, back is sore, knees are sore. So I hopped on a bike, and the bike kind of changed my life really. And every time I get a hobby, I go all in. So it's like I'm fully invested in whatever hobby. Like and the bicycle was one of them, and I went hard, got me a full carbon fiber bike. I'm cleated in, everything. I got the fits,
I'm strapped
everything.
in.
I got the helmet, the shades, everything. I'm ready to go.
You got the skin tight cycling shorts.
I still wear
little bum bag, the Oakley.
I'm in there.
The Oakley like multicolored sunglasses.
I'm in there. I'm all the way in.
Yes,
I'm all the way in. You got to be.
Mate, cycling is the one, actually.
It's important. You got to exercise, man. You have to. It's important.
Yeah, I was the same with running.
It's good for your mental health.
Totally, man. Totally agree. And it, you know, again, it kind of that physical exertion draws you out of your kind of mental, like any kind of mental stagnancy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't, if you go for a jog at a certain point or go on an intense bike ride, you can't be thinking about like consuming negative shit.
Right,
you know
right. No,
you're just trying to concentrate on not passing out. I used to fucking love running, man. And but it's so true. It's like, and I was like,
it's a lonely sport. Running's a lonely sport.
It is, but the exertion levels are high, you know. So again, it's like, this is what I found. Running would be a great catalyst for not like smoking or smoking vapes or drinking too much or eating shit. If you're in a good habit with running, there's no way you want to like start.
It parlays to other amazing things.
Yeah,
definitely.
And look, don't get me wrong, I think cycling is the one. I agree with you. But especially being in Los Angeles, I can 100% cycle home to downtown LA without any physical exertion.
Right.
I'm just like gently like, you know what I mean? I could be eating a donut at the same time.
I did a ride down downtown LA like a couple weeks ago, and I was dodging rats, I was dodging holes and all kinds of crazy stuff. So you kind of got to ride out to get a different experience.
Bro, that's the fun. That's the fun of it.
It's an obstacle course.
It's like Grand Theft Auto when you get on the bike.
Yeah,
you know?
It's crazy. right.
Dude, all right. I definitely do want to go on something.
Yeah, you got to come with us, man. You cover so much ground.
What about the LA River? Have you done any of that? The bike pass on the LA River. You can go all the way to Long Beach.
I've done the Long Beach. I've done the Long Beach one. I've done that a couple times. I live by the mountains. I live in Azusa, which is like 25 miles east from here off the 210 freeway and the 605, and it's a canyon city. So I was raised around the mountains, and we've definitely done the mountains a good amount of times, and that's a whole other experience. You're coming down a mountain going 50 miles an hour.
Like a mountain road, yeah?
Yeah, you gotta be very careful. It's extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. I almost ate shit bad like a couple months ago.
Well, yeah, man, you slip off then,
it's over.
You got the road rash, and then off the side of the mountain you go.
Yeah.
And it's game over.
You got to be very careful. So lately I've been riding with other friends, and we're going on one today. I've never ridden with them before, but that's another cool thing too. It's like everyone's gotten into cycling lately.
Yeah.
So it's cool to tap into different communities of friends and people you've never even really connected with, but now you cycling together and creating that connection, you know what I mean? So that's what there's a cool community aspect to the cycling that I really love as well. You're able to connect with some of these people and cover so much ground and go off and watch the sunset somewhere and even challenge each other, you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. You can really find out what
there's somebody that's working harder than you, the male ego, or if you're like, when it comes to being competitive, like,
I know this guy from the fucking bar or the club, he ain't about shit,
right?
He's giving it all the chat, man. He's trying to tap out after 2 or 3 miles,
right? And then you got to help push him to the finish line.
If you're you help. If you're me, you just go fuck.
Leave him in the dust,
chatting shit. Like
No, you got to help. It allows you to help one another.
All right, mate. So we're gonna do meditation classes.
You're gonna do meditation,
bike riding.
You're gonna do some bike riding or just any kind of physical activity that allow you to sweat, because you got to sweat and detox everything. You're eating, thinking, absorbing everything, all this air, everything. You gotta just detox and get rid of some stuff.
All right. Well,
so we're gonna do that. So we're doing, what is it? Sound bath.
Sound bath in here. Seriously.
Sound bath in here.
We should do it.
Okay. Let's do it. I was talking to Terry. Terry's like 100 yeses. Let's do it. So, it'd be nice to do some in here.
We just got to hope the police helicopters aren't trying to spy on some shit.
You know, you learn when you get good at it. You learn to like keep that out.
Yeah.
You lock it out. It's so crazy.
Well, that's true, actually. I mean, I remember doing one guided meditation where
that's LA for us.
The first level of it was after you kind of focus on your breathing for a bit, it was like notice the sounds and the layers of sound.
Yeah.
And it said, it's just like start with your body, you can kind of hear and feel your own breathing. Now move outward slightly, maybe there's some air conditioning or a fan. Now move slightly out, maybe there's a bird.
Yep.
Dude, literally,
That's
I'm in a room where I kind of thought, okay, I'm in a silent room. Then you're like, nah, you can hear like
everything,
like 15 layers of activity.
Even through these headphones right now. And that's the importance of meditating.
Okay, tell us what you can hear, mate. I'll tell you what I can hear.
Cars flying by.
I can hear the cars. I can hear Emmett
cursing
under his breath.
I just heard some honking. There's a lot of stuff we absorb, man. It's a lot of stuff we absorb. And sometimes we don't even realize it. But it's good to do these things like meditating and cycling to push some of that stuff out.
Yeah, for real. Mate, for real. Well, look, moving on and carrying on the theme, man. You mentioned Azusa.
Azusa, man.
Because I saw another...
Born and raised in Azusa.
Born and raised,
626. What up? Yeah.
What's Azusa, guy? What's going on in Azusa, bro?
What's going on in Azusa?
It sounds like it's going to be a really, like connected... Is it a spiritual town? I don't know why those just those letters A-Z-U-Z-A, right? Azusa.
Azusa.
It just feels like there's some magical shit going on.
I feel like I could go on forever about Azusa because I was born and raised there, and I have a lot of friends that are so tapped in with what is going on in the city, but. I'm thankful to be from my city. I'm thankful to still be there. I've developed brotherhood and even sisterhood with a lot of amazing people that I came up with, that I grew up with. I have friends in my circle that I've known since kindergarten, elementary school, middle school. That's such a blessing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's not that big. It's not that big. No.
Have you got like a kind
of little pocket
city center? Is there any big buildings?
No big buildings.
Really?
No big building. There is a downtown Azusa, but it's very small, just like tiny. And they decided to build a big ass Target right in the middle. It's getting gentrified because there's Azusa Pacific University is right down the street, and I feel like the city has had to cut some deals with that university to be able to add, in and out in the city, add these shopping centers that are a bunch of fast food and all these things to be able to keep up with all these students and families, rich families that put their kids in these schools. So they're starting to build like hotels now. They're trying to close out the projects just to allow some of these families to come and visit. Because, you go take your son to college and you have nowhere to stay. What? I'm paying thousands of dollars for my child to be here, and there's nowhere for me to find.
Yeah.
Nowhere for me to stay to go watch a sporting event or whatever. So Azusa is getting gentrified right now. There's like a whole north side of Azusa that's like new. They built a whole new city up there. All the houses are nothing less than like $500,000. They're trying to, and that part of Azusa is trying to start like its own district. I can go on forever, man, but
oh my God, they're trying to start their own district.
They're trying to start their own district. They don't want to put their kids in the cities that we have now.
From
so
like
I believe they had to cut like $8 million from the school budget this past year. My elementary school shut down. They're thinking of combining two of the high schools together. There's all kinds of political shit.
Yeah, and so the university or the college.
Yeah.
You call colleges. We call universities. Our universities are your colleges, right? No.
College is just...
What's college? How old are you?
College is a general thing for... A college could be a Cal State. College could be a university. It's just like a general...
Like USC, what's that?
That is a university.
A university, okay.
Right.
And is it a university in Azusa?
Azusa Pacific University, yeah.
And it's like a good one.
Yeah.
So they're just...
It's like a Christian university.
Yeah?
Rich as shit.
Did you go there?
No, I did not go there. No, I actually went to Santa Barbara City College for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I moved out when I was 17. I came back when I was 21. And I'm 28 now. Or am I 20? I don't even know how old I am, actually.
Bro,
I might
be. You've meditated so
much. I
right.
just forgot how old I was.
The fucking concept. No, you didn't even forget. The concept of age means nothing.
No, I'm going to be 28.
It means nothing.
Right, age is nothing, man. I'm ageless, man. I'm timeless.
But bro, you got Azusa Run Club as well.
Azusa Run Club with a group of friends. I've only been to one. I've only been to one of them.
Mate,
but
why don't you start Azusa?
But it's all love. It's
Azusa
all love.
Cycling Club.
That's what we're saying, because we all got bikes now. But we're just like, we could just run it all through Azusa Run Club. But the point of Azusa Run Club is just to be able to, it's community. It's to be able to get people out there and develop a community. And from what I've seen so far, it's looking great. Like, we're connecting with acquaintances and just people within our community that we've never really made friends.
Yeah.
Whether they went to the opposite, there's a lot of rivalry in our city.
Yeah.
From the middle schools all the way up to the high school. So, they may have gone to the other school, and now we're all connecting as adults. So it's cool to see everyone come together, and it's just the beginning of Azusa Run Club, man. I feel a lot of amazing things coming for the Azusa Run Club, because we're all just so connected to our culture and to our people and to our city that we just want to make a difference in it could be an individual's life or within our own lives, or we just want to inspire people. And shout out to Azusa Run Club, my brother Aaron Artiaga, that's a family. It's a family. I love the group that we have there. Yeah. And man, I just love my community in Azusa. We've had like life groups, Bible studies, and then the Fruitful home came about from our life group, and we started taking initiative. And
what's Fruitful home?
Another group of the same people.
Bro, you got
another group of the same people
groups
where we go and we feed families during the holidays and just do different things, man. Just apply ourselves in our city to try to make a difference. So yeah, we got like little subgroups, but it's really all the same people. We just all step in.
It's great, man. It's like, and it feels like community. Like, where did that come from? Because you definitely seem like a guy who is just switched on to, realizing that connectivity and being connected with those around you and community.
Right. So I think
is a good thing.
Where it came from for me is like, I think shout out to my mom. My mom has taught me a lot when it comes to the community aspect or the community side of my life. She's always taught me to just be a nice person, be a gentleman, always help somebody. Like, my mom is that person to her friends. Like, people my whole life have always pulled up on us at our house, whether it's to talk to my mom, to help my mom, helping them fill out some paper, whatever it is. Everyone was always coming to my mom's house, and my mom is all about, let me cook for you, let me feed you, let's talk about let's talk about your problems. My mom's always been like a hub for that. So I believe that's where I got it from. Wow, that's the first time I've ever thought about that, actually. No one's ever really asked me that, but that's where it comes from. It comes from my mom, and then from there, my personal experiences. I grew up without my dad, and then I had 2 older brothers, so I was able to learn things really young. I was seeing things at a really young age.
How much older are your brothers?
My middle brother's 31, my oldest brother's 35.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I was, and my mom has worked the same job my whole life, so she would never be home in the morning. So we always had to get ourselves up, go to school, come home. Like, we kind of raised ourselves in a sense, you know what I mean? And with that came a lot of experiences. My brothers used to sneak me out as a kid to go sneak out with them to do dumb shit. But it's like, through those experiences, you learn so much, and I'm forever grateful for that. I grew up around a lot of drugs and a lot of weed, cocaine, the craziest shit, and going through those experiences, I made it out. You know what I mean? I have a lot of friends and people that have never made it out of that space. They've gone deeper into heroin and gone deeper into, meth and all this crazy shit. So the fact that I've been able to, I'm a product of surviving that.
Yeah.
And getting out of that space, which I had to get myself out of. Nobody was going to get me out of it. Because when you're in that space, there's no one, you're providing to all these people that are doing the same shit. So no one's going to tell you, hey, don't be selling me this shit, right? So it's like, I had to get myself out of that space. And being able to get out of there has made me want to come in and just inspire people and help people and just be attentive to people, you know what I mean? Show love, because sometimes those dark spaces, you don't feel any love, and you go there because you ain't loved. You don't get loved by anybody. So I think I know that's where that comes from. It comes from being inspired by my mother, and then also my personal experiences, and being able to do something positive because of the shit that I got myself out of.
Yeah, wow.
I used to slang in high school. I was selling a bunch of weed. That was back when weed was.
And were you ever, because you touched upon it there, that you were like exposed to and surrounded by and part of like certain scenes and energies to do with like drugs, and were you ever have you ever had like issues with that stuff, or were you more just like selling it? Or
man, okay, to be real with you, I had tried some shit. I had tried some cocaine in 2009 when I was in Colombia, and
you may as well start with the good shit.
that was when I think I was like 15 or 16. I had tried cocaine, and I came back from Colombia.
Well, you were there,
and I got into it right away. Let's go. And at that point, I was already dealing weed. At that point, I was selling weed since like freshman.
Why were you in Colombia? Like,
because I'm Colombian.
Yeah, okay, so it was like a family.
My family's out there. I went out there, tried it, came back, and I started chasing that. Damn, let me get that high. I need to get that high, and it was so amazing. I need to bring that back and show my friends. And like, it's fucked up because I came back, I started searching for it, and you had to do 10 times the amount to fill that little bit that to fill what I felt in Colombia. And here I am starting to pass it on over to my friends. Like, I became a bad fucking influence when I think about it. Like, and everyone was starting to do that shit. I got a lot of people that got into it because of me. I started selling it to a lot of people. Man, that's crazy. I've never said that. This is the first time that's being recorded. But yeah, man, I even forgot what your question was because I just got stuck just thinking like, wow, I really just said that.
Well, mate, do you know what?
Secret Walls podcast.
Well, there you go, man. There you go. I mean, it's real stuff, mate. But there was no question.
You asked me if I've ever gone into that dark space.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, that was it.
So that was, by the way, that was that dark space.
Yeah.
That was that dark space, and I started seeing that like, damn, we're all so young here, and everyone's so down with this because I'm doing it. Like, this is fucking crazy. So, I ended up getting off of that, but I stopped doing it, but I started selling, and I got deeper into the selling to where I was getting caught up on the money, and it was easy for me to make the money because I looked like a white boy when I was a kid. I looked young and innocent. No one would ever target me. So here I am, clicked up with everyone on my neighborhood, and we just got cars pulling up on the street, just slanging to a bunch of people, and it got deeper, man. There was a couple of times where like some people hopped out and they tried to take my shit. Some dudes from the neighborhood. I had to go back inside, grab a couple things, shoot it to them. They pieced out, didn't have to worry about them. And then there was another time where like I had just picked up. This is story time. We love story time, mate. I had just picked up. And
oh my god,
I like sorted everything. I sorted everything at my neighbor's, and then I went across the street to go like bag up, and then I got hit up to serve somebody, and I had all my stuff on me, right? And I get hit up like, yo, I'm out front. I get in the car, dude pulls a strap out. I have everything on me, everything. I just finished like sorting everything, and he had like threatened to like come back to the crib. I know where you live, all this crazy shit. So it was when I hit that moment when I went inside and I saw my mom cooking dinner, and I'm just like, wow, I could have really got hurt in the front yard. Like, the paramedics could have really pulled up. My mom is neighborhood watch, so I could have really died in front of the crib. And that was when I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. And then fast forward, I discovered Soulection at the very beginning. Like, Soulection was the fetus still. And I discovered Soulection and just dug a little deeper into my passion for music. And that is what helped pull me out of that dark space of like just chasing money and wanting to be a fucking hustler and always having cash in my pocket, go eat whatever I want, self-sustainable, hustler, young age, like, you know, it got me out of that mentality. And shout out to Soulection for saving my life.
Well, mate, we can talk a little bit about Soulection. I mean, look, number one, Azusa sounds fucking nuts. Need to make a little Netflix show, man. It's like sounding like Ozark or something like that. Yeah, that sounds crazy there, man. I honestly thought it was like some little mountain.
It is the
like
Canyon City,
little
man.
Mountain town,
City,
like
man.
Everyone's just meditating and and going to in and out. But bro, you know what? It's like, I mean, I've got a kind of similar backstory to you, but just minus the guns, because no one had guns where I'm from. But I think that you sometimes, you know, you can see how like a past like yours transmutes or translates into a present like yours.
Yeah, no, definitely. Everyone's affected by their past, by their upcoming, I feel.
Yeah.
Whether it's through being inspired by certain things, trauma, whatever the case may be, like your past really, helps mold you.
Yeah, and I feel that you always, like, you definitely need some kind of catalyst for change.
Yeah.
You know, and even when you read about like, I don't know, like any kind of great like biblical figure or like Buddha, you know, Buddha was a little rich brat, wasn't he? He was some kind of like rich prince, like just had everything that you could ever imagine. That's like, when I read about this, I didn't know that. Like he was, you know, he was some like super rich guy that just had all these weird experiences, just like, you know, could just buy whatever he wanted, had this like debaucherous lifestyle or grew up around that. Yeah. And that was the catalyst for him to change, you know. So I think like suffering can often, or like darkness can often be the catalyst for light.
And you got to be thankful to be able to get out of that darkness, because not everybody makes it out.
Not everyone makes it out, man. And
not
if you do,
makes it out of that dark space.
If you do, you got the cool fucking stories like you. You know what I mean? You can just be like, phew.
Yeah.
But bro, let's get on to Soulection then.
Okay,
because,
so Soulection. Let's talk about it.
Like how long has Soulection been going, and what is Soulection?
Man, Soulection.
Because you do a few things, right?
I can go on about Soulection, man. Let's see. So I discovered Soulection when I was a senior in high school, and I was going through all this crazy just shit in my life, and I've always been a fan of music. My mom is a huge fan of music. My dad was a DJ back in the days. And I discovered Soulection through Anthony Valdez, huge DJ here in LA for KCRW. I discovered Soulection through that. And then I tuned into Soulection. Joe K is playing this like Come Close. This Come Close, like, I forgot, it was like a remix, Mary J. Blige and Common. And I'm like, yo, nobody plays this music. Who the fuck is this? And at that time, I thought I was all cool because I knew about Dilla in high school. Yeah. So I'm like, nobody knows about Dilla, man. Like, what? Who is this dude playing Dilla? And I think that was Facebook, MySpace. I'm not sure what it was, but I reached out and was like, yo, I gotta pull up on the studio. And I pulled up on Joe, and we just started exchanging music, and man, the rest is history, man. That's my brother for life, man. And Andre Power is another one. Soulection is just a group of people that just help look out for one another. I mean, I can also explain it as like we're a creative agency. People need photographers, we got you. People need producers, we got you. People need whatever, we can help connect those dots for you. Let's see, where else can we take it with Soulection, man? We're a radio show that Joe's been doing for more than 10 years. We're on Apple Music now every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. They just changed, Apple Music just changed their name. It's like Apple, I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean, Apple Music.
Yeah, when did they, what, Beats?
It's like Beats. No. It was Beats One. Now I think it's
One.
Like Apple One or something like that.
Really?
I think it's like they just changed it like 2 weeks ago.
Emmett, you got any intel on that? No.
It's something, but they changed it. We're on there every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. We're one of the OG radio stations from when they first launched. A lot of those stations and people have kind of been in and out of there. We're still there. We get to play whatever we want. Joe's the main DJ behind it, and this man is just.
Do you ever have guests on there?
Yeah, all the time. Joe always got guests on there.
Mate, you should bring sequels on, bro.
Hey man, what's up, man?
Good, mate. Return the favor, man.
What's up, man? what anything you got to do with music, let's do it, because it's all music. We just let the music speak on there. Joe's a wizard, bro. This man finds music. He's got to dig every single day for a 2-hour radio show.
Really?
Every single
week.
Of them. It's insane. It's insane. Every day he's finding somebody new. Every day. It's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we got the radio show popping. We curate a lot of live events. Of course, we're on pause right now because of Ronita. But we curate a lot of.
What did you just call it there?
Ronita. Ronita, man.
What's Ronita?
Ronita, man. COVID.
Is that that's the cute name for
That's
it?
the COVID.
That's the
COVID.
The cute name for COVID.
Ronita came and hit, and we've transitioned to Twitch. So we got our Twitch sessions every Sunday at 1 p.m.
Because what you do, like, obviously I know that
we do what you guys do with Secret Walls,
Yeah.
right? So like you guys put these amazing shows together, get all these amazing artists to come along and display their art, and get these sponsors involved to come help pay these artists for their time. And whereas for us, we go out and secure a bag and an amazing venue and an amazing space, and we curate these lineups of talented musicians, and we just book amazing shows all around the world.
And that's like your main jam, right? That's like, is that
the main,
fair
that
to
and
say?
the radio show.
So look, getting into that then, like how was that when it was like, look, there's a pandemic, you can't do that shit no more.
Right. So
do you freak out? We did for a split second.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like everybody did. Like,
yeah,
whoa,
right.
What is happening now? We never thought this would be. What? You just stripped this from us?
Yeah.
This is crazy. So, we were able to get a sponsor for the sessions that we do, and it's nothing compared to what we would be able to secure, at a venue.
Of course.
But it's still an amazing platform to invite artists in and just bring them around community again.
What's the sessions? That's not the radio show. It's something
No, the sessions is a live Twitch every Sunday at 1 p.m.
Oh, I seen your studio.
And we have bands, and we hold it in our space. Yeah. And Andre Power and Sophie do all the booking for that. Shout out to them. Homegirl Diana comes and does like set design, so she just makes the space really vibey. And it's different sessions every week. Like this past week, we had Kyle Dion yesterday. And he, his acoustic set. We've had Alex Isley on there. We've had Tiffany Goucher with like a full band. So it's a cool space to be able to invite artists in and say, hey, like music is healing. We need you guys in here to come in and express yourselves, and still be able to provide music for people. And adapt to the game, and also be able to still put money in these artists' pockets, because if it's being stripped from us, it's obviously being stripped from them. It's their main source of income, and they're having to adapt with the times as well. So if we're able to help there, we're all for it. So yes, we did get shook up a little bit, but thankfully we were ahead of the curve, and we got an amazing team that we're already ahead of the game. And the homie Brian Samaj is in there, Paul's in there. These dudes do like the craziest visuals and green screen work and multiple cameras. So they're panning in and out of different angles of the room. And man, we just got an amazing team.
They're doing that all live, yeah?
Yeah, all that is live. And
do you know what you use? We just did a thing for MLS. Is back final, and it's all like multicam.
Oh, that's what Terry was just telling me. I would love to see.
I can't remember. Emmett, what was that software called? StreamYard.
Is that like an OBS system or something?
I don't think it's OBS.
Similar to OBS. Yeah,
mate. All this lingo that I'm learning.
Right, man. And you got to adapt to the game, man. It's crazy.
Right?
You have to, man. And this is like force. The climate of the world is like forcing you to adapt, and you got to be open to learning. You got to be open to like, all right, cool, shit. I don't know I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Let me find out what it is. So, what's crazy about that side of the world shutting down for us is that it has allowed us to come together and really start working together and sitting like Joe had said something. He said, like, imagine all of us living in one house, right? And everyone has their own room, and everyone has their own electricity in their own room, and everyone's in the same house, but they're working from their own room. And they're rarely coming out to the living room. He said that imagine everybody's electricity went out in all their rooms, and there's only electricity in the living room now. So now everyone is in the living room, in the hub, like just working together and figuring out what it is we got to do. Because essentially, we are people that are of service to artists. So it's like, all right, cool. Let's all kind of tap in and utilize each other's resources to make this shit happen. So man, the music's been booming. Soulection Records is about to start putting music out again in a real way, like quality music, and just shining light on these artists, man, and really being able. We've never really been able to tap into the record side of Soulection collectively. It's always, the job has always been giving to somebody, and then they come back with results, whereas like now it's like we're being forced into this living room and we're all working together to make these things happen on the label side of things. So that's great. Our merchandise has been great.
Merchandise is popping off, bro.
I recently took that role, and it's been amazing to
that's thanks to you, yeah,
step into that space and be able to.
Andres steps in and starts flying out.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's been great, and I'm all about making sure everyone's satisfied. So like, here I am on the community, on the customer service email, just like tapping in with everyone, trying to make sure everybody's happy. You know what I mean? Because we're in a pandemic and people are still spending their money on us.
Bro, I can imagine like, you're a really good customer service.
It's like, man, you guys are really out here like still spending on us. It makes me want to take the merchandise to another level. I feel like Soulection Supply has never been scaled or has had like a vision put to it. It's always just been like project to project to project. It's like, nah, I want to envision Soulection Supply a year from now and eventually have Soulection Supply grow with us. I don't want to be wearing freaking like silk screen shirts my whole life. No, I want to tighten up. I want to get into cut and sew. I want to get into these nicer garments to where it's like, wow, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to wear. I don't want to sell something to people that I wouldn't wear. So, you know, it's been a blessing for me to be able to step in on the supply side of things and be able to work with my community of friends and my community of people. And I want to get Soulection Supply to where we're seating people and being able to just, hey, send people a package just for them always looking out for you. Like, there's Soulection Supply is about to be popping, people, just so you know. It's about to be fun. We got a couple collabs coming up with Sui Coke from Japan. We got a collab with BBC coming up.
Oh,
we
nice.
got these like taking bags coming in. Yeah, so it's like a lot of stuff that's going to start to come, and it's going to be real quality stuff that will be able to live in your shelves for a long time versus like you just buying a t-shirt, wearing it a couple times, and it kind of fades away on you. Now I want to start adding garments to people's closets that like, wow, I got this Soulection piece 10 years ago and it still looks amazing. So that's kind of where I want to take Soulection Supply, and that's where we're going to go.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And I think, you know, you can tell that yet again it's another part of what you're up to that's driven by passion, and I do see a similarity between Soulection and Sequels in the way that, yeah, it seems like you really are trying to lift up like artists as well and you know, that is something we try and do here. It's like we want to kind of amplify the voices of the artists, and as long as that's our focus, as we, you know, I can't remember if we were talking about it on the mic or outside, but that kind of Robin Hood idea of you know, let's work with some brands, get a bunch of money, and get some artists doing some cool work.
And you know, I think what I was telling Terry earlier too, and I believe I did mention it to you earlier off the mic, was like, it's like being of service is amazing. Like, that is what has got us to this point, right? But you also have to take care of yourself. So when a pandemic hits, you guys have capital, and you guys have something that has allowed you guys to take care of yourself from the work that you guys have done for other people, you know. And that is what Soulection has been good at, being able to bring in capital to be able to take care of ourselves too. You know what I mean? It's important. It's like, you know, when, like I had mentioned to Terry, it's like, you know, when they tell you on the airplane, like, hey, if the oxygen mask comes down from the top, make sure you put on your mask before you put the baby's mask on. Now, me naturally, I'm gonna put the baby's on first, right? Naturally. But it's just a good reminder, like, man, sometimes I do gotta step back and take care of myself.
Yeah, I mean,
in order to be able to take care of somebody else.
Because, you know, I mean, it's obvious, but like, you put the babies on and then you pass out. That baby ain't putting your mask on for you. Bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That baby is just looking at you like, so now what? Now what, big shot?
It's just a good example as to like reminding you to take care of yourself.
Dude, and you know, I think, again, it goes back to that weight of the world thing, man. It's like you are of no use to anyone if you are just run ragged, stressed out, stretched,
right,
beaten down. You know, it's tough, man. So I'm with you. And yeah, you always got to take your cut. But I think the cool thing is if you just, you know your worth as a brand, if you know your worth as a brand as individuals, you can go out there, get that good, fun work that you can work on passionately.
Yeah.
Get everyone paid and take yours as well.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have your bit as well.
Oh, exactly.
Mate, sorry, I know what I wanted to ask you earlier and I forgot. But I was reading something about Nike. I saw some Nikes with the Soulection logo. Is this a touchy subject? Soulection logo on the heel there, bro.
I don't want to get too deep into it, just because there was some like legal stuff that went into it, but. There's like some skater or some that used our logo on one of his shoes, and we reached out and let them know what's up, and the response wasn't as nice as we expected it to be, so we had to do something about it. But I don't want to dive too deep into it because I have some connections with people over at Nike that my love and my connection with them is beyond the brand. You know, I was just talking to my friend the other day, and he works over there, and he's always looking out for me, like seeding me stuff. And I admit, but aside from that, an amazing man, amazing father, amazing husband, and those are the types of things that inspire me, right?
Yeah, and a brand can't possibly represent each individual that works there,
right? So it's, dude,
like, there's like Shell Gas or whatever, you know, like you could pick any brand that's like, and I'm not saying Nike or I like Nike, like great brand, but you could pick like a kind of quote unquote like evil brand, and guaranteed there's going to be plenty of people that work there that are just trying to get money for themselves and their family that are like, you know, dope.
Yeah, so they use our logo on a shoe. How many shoes did they produce? I'm not sure, but this skater dude had like over 1 million followers on
but were they saying it was just like
Instagram? Amazing skater. Yeah, this motherfucker is nice. I watched him. I'm like, oh yeah, he's nice with it.
But did they say, yeah, we used it, or like? And I know you might not be able to go so deep, or were they trying to say it's a coincidence?
Yeah.
It's all right, mate. We can cut this out. We can cut this off the end.
I don't want to speak too much. I don't want to speak too much about it because, again, I got love for people over there. Now,
it's all right.
They were from a different department. They were from the Nike SB department, which is a skateboarding department, completely separate from what I'm connected to. But I ain't trying to say no shit just because there was like legal stuff. So it's like I really don't know what I can say.
So I just know that the Soulection and Nike SB collab ain't dropping anytime soon.
Nah, because we're not really into the skateboarding life, so we wouldn't do it now. If it came down to like the athletic side of things or like the lifestyle side of the clothing, let's get it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because we're all for that. If it's got to do with any outdoorsman stuff, whether it's hiking or anything, any kind of sport, let's get it. But ultimately, in the future, I would love to do my own shoe with Nike.
Yeah, so right.
That would be amazing.
But bro, look, it's a good thing, man. It's a good example of like you got to stand up for yourself.
No, yeah, and that's what it was. That's kind of what it was like. Wow, okay. It kind of showed us as to where we're at as a community and a brand, right? It's like, wow, okay. If these people are out here watching us, who knows who's really watching what we do? And it comes to show you the strength of your community, you know. So you're always gonna get that. You're always gonna get the like one rotten egg out of the dozen. You know what I mean? So ultimately, so like with Soulection, we just want to inspire people to be great. We want to inspire community. We want to inspire love. We want to inspire people to do what they love. We want to just be able to heal through music. That's what we do with Soulection. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's good, man. To start the Soulection sound baths.
Yeah. Hey.
Soon, right?
No, we'll definitely do something here. I've thought about it a couple times. I think even some friends stopped by. But we for sure got to come back up in here. It'd be nice. This is a nice space,
bro. Let's make it happen. I'm deadly serious.
For sure.
Let's just 100% do it, because I need to. Like, meditation is definitely something that I need, like, a kind of support group around. You know, because if it's just left to me, I'll get into like a little, a little like habit, like a little burst for like a week or so, and I'll be doing it a few times, but then I'll forget and I don't do it. If we could have like a weekly thing,
okay,
I'll be there, bro.
Well, let's start with one and see how it goes from there. But it would be amazing.
No, he's a smart businessman, pilot.
It'd be amazing to like get some people in here, and you guys are really good at getting like other brands involved. So it'd be cool to like get brands involved,
bro.
To
We would have
certain things.
The sponsored sound bath. We'd fucking have banners everywhere,
waters, and all kinds of amazing things that we'd be able to provide to welcome people into that space. Because there's also some people that don't know how to meditate, never meditated before, and that has happened with me recently. And I think it's always cool to like intro somebody. So if we're gonna intro somebody, it'd be cool to bring them into a proper space to show them how it's done.
Yeah, for real. Although the hilltop or the mountaintop.
Oh yeah, that was fire.
Looked pretty great. Where was that?
That was on, what is that? Those stairs up here,
down towards
what the fuck?
The beach.
Yeah. So, what city is that? How is this blanking my mind?
Yeah, I can't remember. I know where you mean, man, but I'm a foreigner.
Is it Culver? That's like the Culver City stairs.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Culver City stairs, and you're able to drive all the way up there, and there was like probably like a little over 20 people, some friends, some people I didn't know, some people that never meditated before, and it was amazing. Community is so important in life, man. Community and being able to have human interaction and communication, and like that's all part of meditating, you know what I mean? And yeah, that was an amazing day, because we all went to go grab food after, and it's good to just be hanging out with people, man. So we need that right now. Everyone is getting shoved inside their homes, and they're trying to control us, man.
Well, mate, give me a shout the next time you do that.
No, yeah,
because I do.
They're really consistent too, so it's like you'll be able to, like, if you miss one, it's
sick.
like, it's fine. I'll just schedule the one next week. You know, you pay like $20, $20-$30. It depends. Like Talia just did a really cool one that one of my friends went to. A couple of my friends went to, and it was their like first time going with her, and it was at some like beautiful house in the hills somewhere, and you're just away from,
mate.
You're just far away, and you're far away.
Those Hollywood hills.
Yeah, you're up in the hills, and you pay a little more, but it's fine. You pay $30. It's fine. You're up there for an hour and a half.
Can you use the pool after?
Right. Can I use the infinity pool after is that part of the service?
Bro, we could be on, mate. We should just do our own ones, man. Like,
no, we will. We'll talk about it. I had brought it up to Terry before I even.
Super expensive Airbnb, and then we'll do billionaire sound bath, BSB.
But
charge a lot for the ticket, and we'll be fucking sweet.
Well, then we also got to do one for everybody, for people like me.
Yeah.
To where we're able to make it more accessible.
We will, mate. We will. I just want to turn up to the accessible one in a Bentley. Yeah. And the billionaire sound bath's the one before. Yeah. No, mate, I'm kidding. I'm all for these sound baths.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really need the essence of what meditation is trying to teach now more than ever. But listen, bro, we've come full circle quite nicely.
Definitely.
I felt like
I love this conversation.
Very smooth. But it is, mate, any last final shout outs or anything, or
I think
what's happening next for you and Soulection?
So I want to say you guys need to really, work on school walls. I would say that. Jimmy, you need to get in there.
It's now called Secret Walls Academy.
Secret Walls Academy?
Yeah.
Well, you guys need to get into that, because Terry brought this up to me like 2 years ago, and I seen that he was dabbling into a little bit and pulling up and doing these like workshops with these kids. As a matter of fact, I had DJ'd one time.
Yeah.
You guys need to dive into that a little bit more, especially here in LA, and with the way that things are transitioning for these kids. Like, I saw a video today of one of my buddies, his son was doing PE with headphones on and doing these like weird stretches and like just these weird things, and I'm like, damn, this is what it's come down to. There's gotta be, but that's the way that the system is making us adapt, and like, hey, this is the way you do it. I feel like the academy that you guys need to dabble into that and put your creativity into that, and put technology into that space, because there's so many kids that don't have an iPad. Or what I'm learning now too, through one of my friends, one of my brothers and my mentors, his name is Jared Jackson. He's a DJ within Soulection, but he's been teaching for like 14 years, and he's saying that there's a problem right now where there may be 3 to 4 kids in a household and they only have one tablet.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've seen you guys do amazing work before, to where you're giving out iPads and giving out tablets and giving out these things. We should try to, let me know if there's any way that I can help.
We should, man, because you know what? That's a perfect example of, again, it's something that we did a summer camp, right? The summer camp was really successful. We did it right in the middle of COVID, where we'd been working on this idea, but it was kind of panic stations. We wanted to kind of like rush it through. I'm talking real quick because I think the Mevo cam is about to shut down. It's glitching out, but we'll see what we can get done. But bro, we did this pretty quickly, but we had a bunch of tickets that we gave for free so that we could kind of sort out, certain kids from certain underserved communities. But then we didn't have any like brand sponsors, so it was like a kind of ticketed thing for those who could afford it. But going forward, now that we've got a bit of time, man, brands are willing to jump on that and pay for it. Yeah. And that's my vision for it. It's like,
and you guys need to be the ones at the middle of that to connect that bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Let the brands pay for it and let us teach the kids. So yeah, mate, let's talk 100%.
Dive into that. What else? I want to say Black Lives Matter. I want to encourage everyone to take initiative. If you see something on your phone that is pressing you with the current climate of the world, go out there and make a difference, because it starts in your own community. It starts in your city. Go out and vote. I want to give a shout out to my Soulection family. I want to give a shout out to the Kids of Immigrants family. I want to give a shout out to Love Fest. BB, what up? I want just love everybody. Find some time to reset your mind, your emotions, reset so you can come back out there and show love to people. Jimmy, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Terry, Lorena, man. I love everybody. Love up on anybody. Call somebody you haven't spoke to in a while. Check up on your people. Check up on your friends. What else, man? Get out there and exercise a little bit. You got to sweat. Don't isolate yourself, people. Isolation is the worst enemy right now.
There you go, man.
Don't be isolating yourself. Yeah, man, I can go on forever, man.
Isolation feels like the embodiment of depression.
No, yeah.
Right.
And naturally you don't want, I don't know.
Well, mate,
that's a whole other conversation.
It is.
Depression is a whole other conversation, but anybody that may be in that space, reach out to your friends, put an effort out to go hang out with your friends within the COVID guidelines. And man, love everybody.
Well, look, mate, we've got more topics for podcast 2.
Hey, let me know, man. I'll come back up in here.
Now, you're a legend, man, and look, appreciate you coming on, mate. And I feel, you're a great person that emits awesome energy. It's very powerful, and just really appreciate you coming on, man.
Nah, definitely appreciate you, man. This is dope that we got to connect this way, for sure.
All right, and I think we just managed to get the ending in before the Mevo freaked out.
Okay.
All right, bro.
We're out.
Yeah, we're done.